11 supernova, each with very specific and unique abilities. The war of the worst generation is about to begin. As you may know already, there's no One Piece chapter this week, so instead you guys get this. And yes, I know I've been tagged by Roger and Sunpatch, but this is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while now, a couple of weeks, so I gotta give this priority. Ever since the arc of Zou, it's become very obvious that Oda has divided the story for progression purposes in two main camps. One is the Big Mom camp, and the other one is the Kaido camp. And it's already been established by law in Punk Hazard that the way to survive in the New World is to either work under a Yonko or try and take them out. Now, what does that mean for the story of One Piece? Well, let me tell you, because of certain things, certain, pieces and clues that Oda has dropped, and the way that he's, setting up certain things, I've come to the conclusion that Oda is preparing us not just for an arc about Big Mom versus Kaido, a Yonko war between these two, these two fucking powerhouses, but also a war of the 11 supernova. Now let me set this up, all right? We already know that Luffy is going over to Whole Cake Island to go get Sanji, all right? More specifically, he's going to a wedding, okay? Now weddings, aside from being the celebration of a union of two people, they are also big fucking events in which gatherings occur. Big fucking gatherings for the most part, because you're bringing one family together with another family. So there's a crap ton of people that come into these things, all right? Sometimes people you didn't even know existed. So you can pretty much bet, all right, that Oda is going to take this opportunity to not only introduce us to the Vinsmoke family, but to also allow us to learn more about the Charlotte family, Big Mom's family, whether they're biological daughters or not, whatever. Who gives a crap for this case, all right? But you can bet your ass that because Big Mom sends out invitations, and if you don't show up, you know what happens. You get a head in the box. You can pretty much guarantee that all 35 daughters are going to be lined up waiting at the reception for this shit. Now, personally, I think that we already know who 2 of the 35 daughters are.
One is Bonnie and the other one is Lola. If you don't believe me, just look at how they wear their lipstick in comparison to Big Mom. And also, take a look at Bonnie's ship here. I mean, it looks like the thing came out of a candy factory, pretty much resembling the ship of Big Mom and also Whole Cake Island.
Now, we don't really know who Sanji is supposed to marry, all right? We just don't know. I mean, there's a lot of suggestions that implicate the three-eyed girl, right? That's, like, I guess, the most plausible guess. But we still don't know. It's still not 100% certain. And even if that's the girl that he's supposed to marry, that doesn't mean that that's the girl that he ends up marrying, okay? Because Oda can change stuff, he could pull stuff, and we can end up with a plot twist. Now, in one of my previous reviews, I did say that I thought that after this Whole Cake Island arc is done, we will have at least one new Nakama, for sure. First of all, Jinbei is pretty much coming in. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see him at the wedding just because he has been affiliated with Big Mom, with Fishman Island being under her protection, and he's coming in with a poneglyph. That poneglyph has to get to Robin no matter what the fuck happens. So he's not only coming with a poneglyph, but he's coming in with Wadatsumi. So we have that, and in one of the previous chapters, I thought Luffy said something really interesting that to me is like straight up Oda foreshadowing. Luffy said, oh, well, I guess if Sanji's getting married, then I guess his wife is going to become part of our crew. Like very, very matter-of-factly. Yeah, okay, if he gets married, she's part of us. Then, it was explained that, no. In fact, if that happens, you're part of Big Mom. Now, the only way I can see that working out, for Sanji to get married, and for that not to be the case, that they have to work under Big Mom, is one or two things. Either Luffy somehow defeats Big Mom, or number 2, they come to an agreement. If shit goes down to take back Sanji, Luffy's gonna have to fight. And if by some miracle he manages to take down Big Mom, a Yonko, he automatically, here's the thing. He automatically, I think, by default, gets everybody that's working under Big Mom. Because there's no more leadership there. Alright? Now before you go any further and you make your assumptions, that is not to say that Luffy will become a Yonko. I don't think he will become a Yonko. He will not be named Emperor, because the moment that happens, he's going to be like, no, I don't want that title. I want to be King of the Pirates. That's it. The Yonko thing, that doesn't really matter to me. If anything, he'd probably give the title to somebody else. Because let's be honest, he doesn't give two shits about titles. unless it's the king of the pirates. Now, regardless of what ends up happening, whether they actually end up fighting or they actually have a dialogue and they come up with a solution, I think it's not only possible, but incredibly probable that there will be an alliance between Luffy and Big Mom.
Now, there are two main reasons why I think this is going to happen. First of all right, Bonnie has a huge fucking problem with the government. I don't know what she did, but she's gotten on Akainu's bad side, and she's currently under persecution. Like, she is being chased. Now, there's some theories that say that she's really valuable to the government because she's using, or she has been forced to use her abilities to make the elders younger than they actually are, so they can, because she can manipulate age and all that stuff, that's what she's been doing, and that's why she's so valuable, because if she's not around, the elders' time span, it begins to drop, and it's like limited. That also explains why Akainu didn't kill her when she ran away, or when she was tied up, because he needs her. She's incredibly valuable. Now, have you ever heard the phrase, the enemy of my enemy is my friend? I think that's exactly what's going to happen with Bonnie. Now, I know a lot of people say that the Supernovas can't really join up with the Straw Hats, like they can't become crew members, because each, well, not each, like Killer and Zoro are the exception, but the Supernovas are captains for the most part. Okay, Bonnie's technically a captain, and yet we haven't seen her crew after the time skip, so I don't know if they got killed. Usually, like, all the shots we get of her, she's alone, so maybe her crew is done for, and she's just solo, and that opens her up for possibly becoming a Nakama. I actually think that her and Sanji would kind of be an okay couple, because number one, Sanji loves to cook. And Bonnie loves to eat. And also, and this is just freaking hilarious, both of them get super annoyed at Zoro.
The both of them would get so pissed off at him that it would be hilarious. Now, another thing, you know how Oda said that this was supposed to be the year of Sanji? And I know that a lot of us assume, oh, it's like, it's Sanji's time to shine. Story-wise, we're going to find out more about his past, his family. But what if Oda also meant that it's Sanji's year in terms of romantic feelings and romantic history, and that what if this is the year that Sanji finally gets his way and he finally finds somebody, like a woman that he can be with. Now, the other reason why I think that Luffy's group and Big Mom's group are going to come together by the end is, well, first of all, Law said in Punk Hazard that the chance of taking down Kaido with the Straw Hats and the Heart Pirate Alliance is 30%. Max, I think. 30% max. So at this point in time, they need all the help they can get. The more allies they can get, the better. And remember, also, Kaido has an army of artificial Zoan types, right? Now, we already know that Zoans are, typically speaking, the strongest devil fruit in terms of physical ability and power, all right? In terms of strength and physical power, the Zoans got every other fruit beat, right? So imagine an army of fucking Rob Lucci's everywhere. That's going to be tough to beat. Not only that, I think that Kaido, as of right now, has half of the Supernovas under his influence.
I think Oda has been playing the game of dividing up the Supernovas right down the middle. Okay, now here's a list of, as you can see, of the teams. To start this war, you have Kid, Killer, Apu, and Hawkins on one side. And I know a lot of people think, oh, like they're probably, they're getting crushed. They're probably already dead because they met Kaido like that. But listen to me, all right? If they were dead, we probably would have already known. Like, that shit would probably be headline news. Also, if you remember, before the time skip, Drake was actually knocking on Kaido's door to see if he can fight him. And he actually ended up working under Kaido. So given the options, I'm pretty sure that Kid, Killer, and Apu and Hawkins ended up deciding to momentarily join up with Kaido so that they can come up with a plan or to figure out how to take on Shanks later on in the future. In fact, I actually think that Kid is actually going to join Blackbeard in the future just to try and fuck up Shanks, but that's just me. Now, the Big Mom side of things is pretty self-explanatory. Luffy makes friends wherever he goes. He goes to Whole Cake Island. He gets Bonnie on his side. He gets Capone on his side. And they go to war against Kaido. Now, if you notice, the only Supernova who's absent from this breakdown, from this list, would be Uroge. And that's because I don't know where he would, like, what side he would fall under, technically. I know that he respects Luffy by association, because I remember he saw Zoro, and he's like, that guy does not seem like the guy to take orders. That must speak volumes of the captain if this guy is his second mate. Holy shit.
So that's how I think the teams are going to start off. At first, they can change later on. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody switches sides midway, if there's some betrayals or some sketchy shit going on. In fact, Doflamingo foreshadowed that there's going to be some betrayals down the road. So I can't wait to see what happens. But please tell me your thoughts about how this story is going to progress. Do you see this story taking this course at all? Do you think it's a possibility? If you have different factions that are different from the one that I presented to you, please let me know. Whatever you agree with or disagree with me, just write it in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Like the review if you did, or the video, sorry, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Thanks. Bye.